Get out of the car.
Police in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin say it was a big misunderstanding. Officers mistook an African-American teenager for a robbery suspect.
How are these cops still allowed to wear the uniform after harassing teens like this?
Get on the ground! Stay down, don't move!
In this video, we'll expose these bad cops for who they are. Get ready and let's dive in. Cops assaulted 3 minor suspects. The video from the Providence Police Department in July shows police brutality and its consequences. Officers detained 3 suspects who turned out to be teenagers. Despite outnumbering the minors, a dozen cops were on the scene. Officers Domingo Diaz and Mitchell Voyer displayed appalling behavior, brutally punching and injuring the suspects multiple times. How is that in any way ethical? Other officers had to intervene to stop their cruelty and pull them away. In a shocking turn, one of the officers even spat on a suspect. Police later confirmed that one of the suspects had to be hospitalized. Both officers were suspended for their excessive use of force at the incident scene. Should be jailed, to be honest. Deputies entered home without permission.
Hello? Is anybody listening to me?
There are times when civilians aren't safe just outside their homes, but inside too. The home security footage showed 3 to 4 cops forcing their way inside and going straight for the homeowner's minor-aged daughter. The woman watched this video while she was out and kept yelling at the cops to hear her out. But they suddenly got aggressive towards the daughter and slapped cuffs on her. The police's aggression didn't stop there. They went further and arrested the woman's minor son too. That is all wrong on so many levels. The family waited for weeks, and when they didn't get any response to this bad behavior from the sheriff's office, they went ahead and posted the video online to raise awareness. The only response they got in the end was the sheriff rudely saying the innocent party was to blame for not cooperating. The cop assaulting a student in class. A video was dropped by a South California high school where the peaceful class got completely messed up when an aggressive cop barged in and brutally tackled a student, picking up his seat and tossing him on the floor. The video seems to have gone down on a Monday at a high school in California. The shock was written all over everyone's faces as they watched their classmate endure such physical and mental abuse. But the ugliest part of this violent assault was that the sheriff and the police department sided with the assault and justified his actions as the right way to solve the problem. Being handcuffed multiple times.
We're in apartment 3D. Apartment 3D, David.
In a nearby apartment complex by the Red Line, a family's Christmas Eve turned into a nightmare straight from a horror flick. When the teenagers inside this home swung the door open, they were met with the chilling sight of guns aimed at their heads. Without warning or warrant, the police barged in, morphing a joyful occasion into a living hell. Jalen, one of the teenagers, described the sheer terror of being violently handcuffed and dragged into the hallway. The worst part is, the young Jalen was arrested 4 times in a span of just 30 minutes. Imagine that. 4 times for no reason at all while just trying to get to his home. The first time, the cops arrested him and then released him, realizing their mistakes. Then he started walking back home and another set of cops arrested him. Then a third and finally right at his home a 4th time. All this no doubt left the poor kid feeling stripped of his dignity and consumed by fear. The family sought justice through a formal case of police misconduct, but 2 years on, the investigation remains unresolved. These cruel cops should be in handcuffs. Don't you agree? Police handcuffing innocent citizens.
We know you're inside! Come out with your hands in the air, do it now!
It sounds like it's going to be a B&E in progress of an unoccupied dwelling. They're currently inside the house.
These folks were just chilling, scoping out this estate, when the cops surrounded the place and yelled at them to come out with their hands up. Turns out, The cops were tipped off about a break-in, so they came in all guns blazing. But picture having your 15-year-old kids with you and hearing the cops calling you out, knowing they could pop a cap in you any second. The realtor, his client, and the client's 15-year-old son had guns pointed at them as they stepped outside. The dad's worst nightmare comes true when he, his son, and the real estate agent get cuffed the minute they step out. After the agent shows the cops he's legit, they let them go. Embarrassed, realtor Eric Brown and potential client Roy Thorne said this would never happen if they were white. Abusing a black student. Next up, the video shows a school resource officer putting a student in a headlock, shoving him down, and later using a taser. The March 2015 footage captures Ahmad Williams waiting in the principal's office after being sent there by a teacher. He's exchanging heated words with Officer Steve Shalitz. Suddenly, Shalitz snaps and puts Williams in a headlock, dragging him into the hallway. Principal Kevin Murray jumps in, helping Shalitz hold Williams down while the teen gets handcuffed and tasered. Keep in mind, this is just a child. How heartless can you be to do this? Grandma and her grandson.
Come out with your hands up, face away from us. Face away. Go to the sidewalk, face away.
This one is just sick to watch. A teenager was driving his grandma back from church, but these cops decided to follow them, later stating that someone tipped them off that the old woman was being robbed by the teen. They then stopped the teen's car and then quickly got him in cuffs. No proper questioning, no nothing. The teen kept talking to them, calmly informing them of the misunderstanding. It wasn't until a while later that they finally let the poor go, after asking if he was the old lady's grandson. Racial profiling through and through, right? Teenager busted by a bunch of cops.
Get out! Stop resisting! Stop!
Get off of him! There's a kid!
This kid literally got bullied by the police officers. On top of that, he got physically assaulted. Turns out, these cops are busting a teenage guy for jaywalking. Yeah, seriously. The kid was trying to cross the street at an intersection without lights at the beginning. At one point, 9 cops swarm the boy, making things even more tense. Not only is that a huge overreaction from the cops, but also a pretty poor way to handle such a minor crime. The kid is shoved around, with the cop throwing him around with no concern for his safety. The witnesses are even saying it's a kid to make the cop stop. But he is not listening at all. This cop is a shame to his uniform.
That's a fucking child! That's a baby! He didn't even do nothing!
Teenager, teaching law.
What? What's your problem?
What?
Why you giving me the finger?
I'm walking away.
Huh?
Am I free to go?
Why you giving me the finger?
Am I free to go?
No.
For what reason?
Why you giving me the finger?
I'm free to go. Am I free to go?
What's your problem?
Am I free to go?
No.
What, do you have a problem?
No.
You have a problem?
No.
You don't have a problem, then I can leave.
Why you giving me the finger when you're walking? Huh? Come here.
Cops are supposed to make sure people follow the law, but sometimes they take their power too far. In a recent video, a cop gets angry at a young kid passing by a car. The cop accuses the kid of flipping him off, but the kid denies it and says he should be allowed to go since he didn't do anything wrong. The cop, already upset, doesn't believe the kid and keeps asking him to admit it. The kid insists he's just a regular citizen and should be free to go about his business. The cop then starts following him, yelling at him to stop. When the kid asks what law he's breaking, the cop can't give a clear answer, but keeps following him. Not satisfied with just words, the cop tries to grab the kid and detain him, while the kid keeps asking what he's done wrong. Another cop shows up and tries to calm things down, but the first cop keeps accusing the kid of flipping him off. When the kid shows he knows his rights, the cop backs off and his colleague tries to sort things out. Eventually, the kid is let go. mistaking autism for drugs. In a gut-wrenching incident caught on body cam, a cop's run-in with a 14-year-old Connor Leibel, who's got autism, has lit a firestorm. The Buckeye Police Department in Arizona says this officer mistook Connor's harmless stimming for drug stuff and went in hard. Connor got shoved down, smacked against a tree, and tackled. The fallout? Connor ended up with minor cuts, bruises, and maybe a busted ankle needing surgery. Connor's family wants an apology from the cop and a guarantee that all officers will get top-notch training to handle cases like Connor better in the future. This whole mess is a stark reminder of the serious consequences of ignorance and poor training in law enforcement. Cop who harassed daughter's boyfriend.
You can get out. You're going to jail. Get out.
Police officer John Kovac of the Lorain, Ohio PD pulled over a car with his 18-year-old daughter, Caitlin Kovac, and her boyfriend, McKay Coleman, inside. The dashcam video of the stop is wild. Kovac, who was in charge and didn't like Coleman dating his daughter, cuffed Coleman without knowing Caitlin was in the back of the cop car. When he realized, he let Coleman go and threw Caitlin in the cruiser instead. Kovac said he did it because he didn't want his daughter mixed up in the relationship. His daughter can be seen crying her eyes out as she is forced into the car by her dad. Aside from being morally wrong to arrest a teen just because you dislike him, what he did went against police department rules, and after 26 years on the force, he got the boot. Police assaulting a 9-year-old kid.
So you calm down. This is the road. He can do that because he's on the road. Just calm me down for a second.
Chill. Stop it.
What happens when some police officers misuse their authority and use force on a little kid? A 9-year-old student at Stenstrom Elementary School in Oviedo, Florida, was caught on disturbing body cam footage. The child was handcuffed by police officers in his own classroom in February, reportedly after throwing an aggressive tantrum in the school's mailroom, prompting school resource officers to intervene. Despite being only 9 years old, the police kept him in handcuffs for a total of 13 minutes until he calmed down. The video of this incident spread like wildfire on social media, sparking outrage and prompting people to question the authorities. Physical injuries aside, that must have been quite traumatizing for the kid. Lawyer student. This police officer chose to bully the wrong kid. Turns out, these cops think this student has bought liquor on campus. The only problem? The kid is a lawyer. He basically schools the officers of the law, coming at them from every angle, a true lawyer in the making for sure. In the end, the cops cannot come up with anything to arrest him for. Instead, they had to leave him be and walk away in humiliation. And the best part? The student had some pretty choice words to get them a bit more riled up on their way back. You can even hear the fellow classmates cheering the student on as he goes inside his dorm, having won the legal battle. Don't try to bend the law in front of a law student.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Joel.
Yeah, go.
We're done. Okay, have a good. You guys can go to your room. Thank you. It's really kind of one of those things that's up in the air. We don't want to do that.
Hey, I appreciate you though. You're a professional. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks.
Okay, case number
Have a good day.
is 2023 7816.
Cool. Cops cuffed a 12-year-old boy. This video from Lansing, Michigan, shows cops cuffing a 12-year-old boy named Tyshawn Bernard for doing nothing but taking out the trash at his apartment complex. His dad jumped in, which made him heated when it took longer than usual. When his dad checked, he found him in the back of a police car. The cops were looking for a guy who had stolen a car and said he was wearing neon shorts and a white shirt. Tyshawn, though, was wearing a light gray shirt. Later, the police sent an apology letter saying what happened with Taishan was right person, wrong time. But that didn't help Taishan's family. They were thinking about going to court because Taishan was so scared he didn't want to go out again. Let's be real, chained up for trying to take out the trash. Not really the standards you expect from the cops. Cop pulled the teenager out of the car. The South Whitley police pulled over Vivian Augustus, a high school senior, for speeding. Then things got wild. Officer Brian Schimmel yanked her out of the car and cuffed her, saying she didn't show her ID, even though she was trying to. A gas station caught the whole thing on video, which the girl's family then made public. The cop talks to the teen for a bit. Then he just flings her out of the car, throws her to the ground, and arrests her. Has he no concern for her safety? At first, the town had Schimmel's back and said he didn't mess up, but after the video blew up online, they fired him and dropped the charges against Vivian. Apparently, Schimmel wasn't considered reliable enough to testify, so the young teen was let go. A poor teen kid. A video of an RCMP officer holding down a 14-year-old boy has sparked accusations of police brutality in Cumberland. Some witnesses say the Mounties used way too much force. We will let you decide. It all went down after the young kid got fined for biking without a helmet and then refused to give his name. Marcia Hurd, a kind lady on the scene who runs a pub, said the officer choked the boy and slammed his head into the ground. A person named Jean Cameron stepped in to help the teen and got charged with obstructing police, even though lots of witnesses say she didn't do a thing. Told them off.
Since you're making contact with me, could you identify your name and badge number?
I'm Officer Albee.
And your badge number, please?
I don't even know why you're here right now.
I asked you a direct question. Do you have your badge number on
and
you?
I asked you to leave because right now you're not allowed to be on our traffic stop.
Ma'am, if you're refusing to identify your badge number, it might result in a complaint with your department.
This teen is going places. He did not just tell off one, but multiple officers. So the teen is filming the officers when they decide they don't like it. So first, a cop comes up and asks him what he is even doing here. She complains about him being at her traffic stop. But our guy does not listen, as he knows the law. After that failed attempt, 3 more cops come by one, trying to intimidate the guy. But the teen just asks for their badge number and refuses to engage further. In the end, the cops cannot do anything at all. Still, they harass the poor guy for just filming. What a shame. Cops harassing a 5-year-old boy. A body cam footage from Maryland shows 2 Montgomery County police officers being rough with a 5-year-old boy. They were responding to a complaint about a student accused of damaging a computer. The officers were caught physically restraining the child, yelling at him and using handcuffs. Did they forget the kid is 5 years old? This incident occurred in January of last year, and the police department conducted an internal investigation. So, as you can pretty much expect, both officers are still on duty. The boy's mother has taken the case to court seeking help for the trauma it caused. I mean, why would you even treat a 5-year-old like that and still think yourself worthy of the uniform? Officer punched a 17-year-old kid. A police officer in Vacaville got caught on camera straight up, punching a 17-year-old boy with autism and ADHD over and over. The cop had his hands around the boy's neck. The officer was responding to a call about a possible assault with a pipe. A Ring doorbell camera from another neighbor caught the whole thing as it turned into a fight between the two. Apparently, the cop did not know about the teen's condition. But regardless, that is still hitting a minor, not something those tasked with keeping the law should be doing. Cops challenging teen. This incident happened at a traffic stop in Social Circle, Georgia, involving Officer James Sanders. The incident kicked off when Sanders pulled over a car of teenagers, reportedly because one of them shouted an expletive at him from the vehicle. The ensuing events were captured on multiple police cameras and were described as shocking and embarrassing by the police department. Sanders began the traffic stop without notifying dispatch, a breach of protocol. He stopped the car in a fast food restaurant parking lot and immediately started questioning the driver, trying to identify the person responsible for the expletive. When he found out it was a passenger, not the driver, Sanders yanked the 17-year-old out of the car. What happened afterwards was a troubling confrontation where Sanders aggressively challenged the teenager to a fight. The situation escalated as Sanders continued to provoke the teenager, who consistently denied any desire to fight. That is no way to treat a teenager, even if he gave you a middle finger. Do you think this cop did the wrong thing? And that does it for this video. Which one of these cops harassing teens incident did you find the most repulsive? Let us know in the comments section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Be sure to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And hey, why not subscribe while you are at it? You will be getting more of these awesome videos on your feed. Until the next upload, stay vigilant and stay safe.